Harmony Heroes, welcome back to the Music in Our Homeschool podcast. I'm your host, Gena Mayo, and today's episode is all about a question I hear often. How can I make music appreciation fun for teenagers? If you've got a teen who'd rather scroll TikTok than listen to Mozart, or if you're worried that music appreciation will just feel like another box for them to check, you're not alone. I've been there too. With 8 kids of my own, I've faced the same challenge. How do I keep music from getting lost in the shuffle? And how do I make sure my teens enjoy it instead of just endure it? That's what we'll explore today. I'll share some practical techniques, highlight resources I've created for teens, and tell you some stories from my own journey that just might spark new ideas for yours. If you are a homeschooler looking for ways to easily and affordably include a quality music education in your homeschool, you've come to the right place. This is the Music in Our Homeschool podcast. I'm Gena Mayo, homeschooling mom of 8 and music teacher for over 30 years. Let's start with a story I think many of you might relate to. There was a season when I was homeschooling all 8 of my kids, and days were a blur of lesson plans, laundry, and meals. I desperately wanted to give them a well-rounded education, but fine arts always seemed to get pushed aside. Math and reading took priority, and music was something we'd get to tomorrow, except tomorrow turned to next week, and often never. The guilt was heavy. I knew music mattered. It shapes hearts, builds character, and brings joy. But I simply couldn't carve out hour-long lessons. Then came my breakthrough. What if it didn't have to be an hour? Could just 15 minutes work? So we tried it. A song at lunchtime, a short listening session in the car, coloring pages while music played in the background. And you know what? It worked. Not only did music happen consistently, but my kids looked forward to it. The realization became what I now call the 15-minute music method. It's the foundation of everything I create at Music in Our Homeschool. And it's especially important for teenagers. Teens don't need long, dry lectures. They need short, meaningful encounters that fit into their busy days. Why does learning music matter so much for teens? Well, music is partly their language. Teenagers are figuring out who they are, where they belong, what they value, and music is often the soundtrack to those questions. When we give teens a richer vocabulary for understanding music, they can connect more deeply, not just with what they're listening to, but with history, culture, and even themselves. And this is the key. If we make it boring, we lose them. Music appreciation for teens must feel relevant, engaging, maybe even a little surprising. Here's another story. This one's from my own teen years. When I was in 7th grade, I was chosen to sing in a citywide concert. One of the songs was Brother James' Air. And as we sang it, the harmonies wrapped around me in a way I had never experienced before. For the first time, I understood the power of group singing, how voices could blend into something greater than the sum of its parts. That moment changed me. It planted a seed, the seed that said, I want to stay a part of this the rest of my life. It grew as I joined choirs, practiced harder, eventually sang in the Texas All-State Choir 3 years in a row. Singing Brahms' Requiem under the great Robert Shaw was one of the most unforgettable experiences of my life. So why do I share this? Because it shows what can happen when teens are exposed to powerful musical experiences. Sometimes one performance, one concert, or even one listening activity can spark a lifelong love. So let's get practical. Here are some of my best strategies to create some of those experiences right in your very own home. Keep it short and regular. Use the 15-minute music method. Teens respect consistency. They'd rather have a short, reliable routine than a once-in-a-blue-moon marathon. Connect it to what they're already learning. This was another game changer for me. Once my kids were disengaged from music lessons, so I tried to tie it into history and literature. If we studied World War II, we'd listen to 1940 swing songs. If we read Little House on the Prairie, we learned about the 1800s parlor songs. Suddenly, my kids cared because music made sense when it fit into the bigger story. Another technique is to let them choose. Ask them, what's a song you love right now? Then you can take that song and analyze it together. Look at the lyrics, the form, the instrumentation. They'll be amazed at what they can discover from their own playlists. Use multiple senses. Don't just talk. Listen, watch, even try making the music. Compare 2 recordings of the same piece. Watch a Broadway musical. Try clapping a rhythm from a pop song. Another tip is to simplify, don't complicate. I used to think lessons had to be Pinterest perfect with projects and binders. That mindset nearly paralyzed me. One day in the car, I flipped over to the classical station. A piece came on and I asked my kids, do you know when this was written? Do you know what composer this is? What instruments do you hear? And if your children are younger, you could even get more simple and say, is this fast or slow? Does it sound happy or sad? You can have some of the best music lessons of the week right in your very own car. Teens especially appreciate simplicity. Sometimes they need space to talk about what they notice, and they need a break from all the hard stuff going on in their lives. And then my last tip is to bring in some outside voices. You don't have to teach everything yourself. I used to think I did, but as my teens grew older, I realized that sometimes bringing in some expert teachers was the best thing for my kids. I've created some self-paced online courses to give you an expert in your back pocket without adding any extra prep work to your plate. These are courses that your teens can do on their own. And let me just give you a quick rundown about some of those courses. There's Beginning Music Theory for Teens. This is perfect for high schoolers who want to earn a fine arts credit and want to finally master the basics of notes, rhythms, and chords. There's Advanced Music Theory for Teens, which comes after the beginning course. And this is perfect for students who want to study music in college or get really deep into harmony, dictation, or even take the AP Music Theory exam. I have 3 music history courses. There's Middle Ages through the Classical era, the Romantic era, which covers the 1800s, and the Modern era, which is 1900s through today. And there's a few others. If you flip over to the accompanying blog post that goes with this episode, find the link in the show notes, you could see everything there. So wrapping it up today, I just want you to know that music appreciation can be fun for teenagers. Just keep it short and consistent, tie it to what they're already learning, give them some ownership, keep it simple, and feel free to bring in an expert to help you in this very important area of your homeschooling. I hope today's episode gave you both encouragement and practical ideas. If you'd like to take the next step, be sure to click over to the accompanying blog post to find links to all the courses or my membership. Whether your teen needs basic music theory, wants to explore musicals, or is ready for advanced analysis, there's something waiting for them. And don't forget, you don't have to do this alone. Music in Our Homeschool exists so that you can give your teens a quality music education without any stress. Thanks for joining me today, my Harmony Heroes. I will see you next time on the Music in Our Homeschool podcast.